Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the day of the video diary. How's it going today? Today we're heading on into work again. We didn't really get much done last night, but I went to bed, got up. I think I was alright. I've got hay fever, specifically in one eye. In my left eye, it's got hay fever. My right eye's fine. So I'm living the dream right now. It's got to be said. Just been talking to a camera that wasn't even recording. I didn't come in this morning listening to Kate Nash, unfortunately. I was listening to Keen instead. Working my way through the K's. Next week, the Knack. Anyway, what else is going on? We're going in. Yeah, we're about to get into work now. Today, not much exciting planned again. Hopefully, we'll be able to deploy to live. Hopefully, it's something that seems to keep getting put off by the people who need to do it. Like, I emailed him. I'm like, mate, we're ready, and he just didn't get back to me. So fine. Hopefully, we get to deploy to live. Otherwise, I'm going to be working on my report. But instead of just like soldiering on with my boring ass report all day, I'm going to like write a bit of the report, and then say like after Scrum I'll jump onto some programming and do some dissertation programming, and then report or dissertation programming. That's the plan. Hopefully they have some work for me to do though, so I can do something else other than that. It really bugs me having to think of my own work. Even though it's something that I like doing, I feel bad for doing it, you know? Even though, like, the alternative is literally just sit there and read the news all day. But there is literally no work to do. I guess it's kind of progress. A lot of people are doing, like, programming videos and stuff. You know, like, revising how to program and all that kind of shit. I mean, like, that's what I'm doing, more or less. Apart from some paperwork for uni. Well, I'm going to email my lecturer today and properly select and finalise my end of year, like, my project owner thing for my dissertation. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going? I finished work and I am currently on the prowl. I'm on the prowl. I'm looking for something on the go at the moment. I'm looking for another Fiat Punto somewhere. Preferably one of my ilk. I've found one already, but it's a little bit too old and it's not like a sport one. So it's just like, it's completely different. Basically, I think the exhaust is like half hanging off. I feel like the exhaust should be like that, but it's actually like that. So it hits the floor like more than it should. Dad said it was normal last time I was in Nottingham, and I'm like, this can't be normal. So I'm getting it checked out. I'm having a look for a Punto now. Oh, are you Punto lights? No. Damn it. I'll show you it when I head back, assuming that I don't lose the light. But yeah, so that's what I'm currently doing. It's a precise moment in time. What's gone on today? Today, finished my report, my end of placement report. I'll like proofread it or something at some point over the weekend or something. But yeah, that was good. We had a couple of meetings to do with deployments and how we can improve them in the future. That's about it, really. That was about work. It wasn't really all that exciting, which it hasn't been for a while. Tomorrow we're actually going for the meal now, not Friday. So we're going for pub lunch tomorrow lunchtime, which will be nice, because it means then I don't have to drive up, especially on Friday. It means I can free up the day and use it for something else. But yeah, otherwise, that's about it. Let's hunt for a Punto. I'm not very impressed with this. Like, you don't see enough Puntos down here. I bought a Fiat Punto because I didn't, like, I could have had a Renault Clio for this basically the same price, same engine and all that crap. But one, I think the Punto's prettier, and two, it's less common. Everyone has a Clio or a Corsa, don't they, as their first car. So I thought I'd have a Fiat Punto instead. Thinking it was relatively rare. Came down to Bristol and then found out there was loads of them, like absolutely loads of them. And now I'm on the hunt for one. I can't find them. So that's fun, isn't it? That's absolutely hilariously fun. It's a weird car, isn't it? Weird in the sense that I've never seen a Vauxhall that looks like that before. Okay. So yeah, otherwise, yeah, I think there's a bracket that's supposed to hold these two metal pipes up like that. I think it's kind of gone like that. So I think we need a new bracket on it that holds up the old thing. I'm going to take a photo of it and send it to Dad. We booked it in with Nige. See if Nige can fix it. But yeah, until then I want to try and find another Fiat that looks similar. There's one, like I say, near where I live, but it's only like the junior one. The Babby one with it's got a tiny exhaust on it. The exhaust is nowhere near the same size. You can hardly even see it underneath the bodywork. I don't want to get just have a rummage underneath someone else's car, you know what I mean? There's a frigging garage there if I ever need to take it somewhere. Hey, Mr. Punto. I think I've just seen one, boys. I've got eyes. I've got visual. Have I? Tango. Popper 2. Yes, yes it is. That's a Fiat. It's the same age as mine as well because it's got the headlights in the right place. The only difference is it's not the Sport. It's not the shiny. Oh, it is the Sport. Oh, it is the Sport. Is it just not 16 valve one? The only difference between that car and my car is the age and the colour. Okay, and no one's around. Let's go. Right, now I can go take some photos of my own car because it looks less creepy. I realise how sketchy that looks. I'm just like, got my battery. Right, let's go again. Now look kid, that's the bit that scares me because it looks like that's sheared off and that this potentially should be holding something. So look, if you see how that's got such a spring on it, I think it should be a lot higher up there. Oh god, here we go. Press record again. See look, there's a lot of flex there. I feel like that's too much flex. You know, well, they're saying that though. I don't know, man. I just don't know. It seems too low. That's all I'm saying. Otherwise though, it's bloody warm in here. Get a fan on. Windows are wide open. It's so humid today. It's horrible. But these are drying though. Bone dry. Just got it dirty though because I've just been touching the bottom of a fucking car. But YOLO. Yeah, I don't know. Like the exhaust, when you look at it, it looks bad. But then it looks like that thing's sheared or something. That's what needs to be replaced. That thing needs to be tighter or something. But I don't know. It doesn't look like it bounces. I think it is just lower than it should be, but like it doesn't seem to bounce more than I would expect. You know, I expect it to bounce quite a bit. Well, do you expect it to bounce a lot though? You expect it to bounce a little bit because it's supposed to, but not that much. It does wiggle. Helps if you turn the computer on as well. I'm gonna put shorts on, man. It's bloody hot in here. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we have some stupid flies wandered through my window, and I want you to experience this. Oh no, it isn't a fly, it's a wasp. But you want to look at this. Look at this beast. Come on, you. Wake up. Get flying about. This guy is not a bee, it's a fucking horse. It's a flying horse, that's what it is. Right, so I'm attempting to sit down to some programming right now, but my eyes are playing up. And it's the opposite one to the one that was playing up this morning. So it's his turn now. He's come to mess with me for a bit. Oh god, hello. Come on, Mr. Eye Spray. God damn it, eh? This eye here, man. It's all pooey and red. You can't see in your own eye, that's the problem, isn't it? Let's hope that spray solves things. Oh, grief alive. Grief alive. So then, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to sit down to do some programming. I wanted to sit down to do some programming today, but I didn't finish my report until quite late. I was going to do like alternates, but I just thought, no, I'm going to commit. And I got rid of the first, like the large chunk section, that 2,000 words. I got rid of that before lunch, and I'm like, yes. So I just did the last 500 words, but then I had meetings and stuff, so I got delayed in my finishing of that. But yeah, otherwise I then came home, got annoyed at the fact that my car is definitely making knocking noises more than it should do. And as after getting underneath the car and having a look at that bracket thing, it definitely looks a bit broke. Looks a bit broken, that. So I got to drive carefully to make sure that I don't break it anymore on the road. Getting it fixed back up in Nottingham. It shouldn't be too expensive to fix, should it? 'Cause it's just like a bit of rubber. Bit of rubber in it, lol. Oh, right. Okay then, ladies and gentlemen. The good thing is, I have in theory built up like the core for the first start. It's like a little bit of legwork to build up the core in which the rest of it's built around, and then once that's done, it should be a case of just like because I didn't want to start it because I had like an hour or so at the end, or not even that. I had like 40 minutes or so. But I know that the things I'm doing take longer than 40 minutes to finish, so that I could check them in and then carry on working on it at home. That's why I didn't want to start. So I had to make sure that I had like time essentially to do all of that kind of stuff, and I do have time now. As soon as I pass the core, it should just be a case of, right, I've got half an hour, let's build another bolt on, bang, there you go, happy days, next. You know what I mean? It should start firing through it, but until that point in time, we just have to soldier on through. And I might actually go through all of my iTunes songs. I hate iTunes. Don't show me this again. There's a reason you're not my default audio player. It's because you're shit. Which reminds me, I got in an argument today with... It's exciting as well because tomorrow we're sitting next to I'm sitting near like 2 seats away from a non-exec like owner of the fucking company. So I got tested today by the head of IT come in and talking to us. The head of IT, I didn't realise she was the head of IT. And I said, we were talking about before she came over, the fact that we have this thing that's like, it's like Facebook for business. It's like Yammer. It's more like a Microsoft thing. It's really crap. But the worst thing about it is that the company make you have a link to it on your desktop, like a shortcut link on your desktop. That's really annoying. Not because like I don't have anything on my desktop, or I've got like, you know what I mean? It's not like it sticks out offensively. The problem is that it'll always go to the last filled spot. So it'll go, oh, there, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's always on the newest spot. So it's really hard to position it in, like, because I've got like a little clump. I've got like a clump of stuff that we use for that there, clump of that stuff there. And it's normally because if I'm working on this, I'll have the screen in this kind of layout. I'll put that box there, and everything like pops up in. You know what I mean? When you work with the same software for all day, every day, you figure out like where you want like command prompt to open up, and it'll open up in a certain corner. Normally when I'm doing command prompt, I'm doing something with these 2 folder icons. So I'll put the folder icons there, and then home directory opens up just above it, so that I can look at files being created in there, and it'll open. You know what I mean? The problem is with this bloody Yammer thing is it keeps coming back, and we've tried everything to try and get rid of that. I first tried to just hide it. Nope, every half an hour or so it will come back. I first tried to hide it. That didn't work. We then tried to create a new one for something else, so like a link to something else, but call it the same thing, see if that tricked it. Didn't work. And then we tried to change the permissions on the file. So we went into the file, changed the permissions so that no one could edit it. Literally no one. I was the last person on it to edit it. My account, my normal account, not even my admin account. Went in, hid it, then put it back, and like removed all rights. I couldn't even unhide that anymore. No, that didn't work. It came back. And anyway, so we've been fighting with this for a while, and now recently, Ben got annoyed by it. So we was talking about it, and she comes in, and we were still talking about it, and we got onto the topic, and I said like, who do I have to email to get rid of this? And she was like, oh well, you shouldn't be getting rid of it anyway because we put it there, deliberately. It's group policy or whatever. And then she goes, oh, you shouldn't even be using Chrome. What are you using Chrome for? I'm like, what do you mean? What am I using Chrome for? It's because it's good. That's why. Because we shouldn't be using Chrome, you should be using Internet Explorer. I'm like, you're having a laugh, right? You're having an absolute laugh. But apparently we should only be using Chrome for testing purposes, to test sites in Chrome to make sure it works. And I'm like, well, I'm using Chrome, so I can deal with it. No one on this floor uses Internet Explorer. Literally the only person I know on that floor that uses Internet Explorer is Stephen. And he uses like Internet Explorer 7 or something because he's old, bless him. But anyway, it's actually kind of good because he spots bugs that no one else knows. But anyway, so I'm like, yeah, right, okay. And she goes, yeah, it's people like you installing Chrome and using Chrome and whatever. That's the reason we have viruses every now and again on our computers. Maybe you should install some antivirus software then. Go, we got antivirus software, but it's not doing its job then, is it? Ooh. And then, yeah. So we were having a whale of a time there. So I'm getting sacked tomorrow. And yeah, said something about like, just deal with having the icon there. And I'm like, oh, I don't want it there. And I tried to go into the registry and see if I could get rid of it. But no, it's not in there, fortunately. But yeah, so I've got to deal with that, having that icon. What else? And then I think I compared it to a dictatorship. I think I inferred she was Stalin. But anyway, that's by the by. It wasn't a proper argument, it was a jokey argument. It's Jamie, you know, banter. What else happened today that I was going to tell you about? Oh, sadder news. Dave's gone from my team. He's left today, which is sad. Saying that, we're seeing him tomorrow for lunch, so not really gone. But that's about it. But yeah, so that's the excitement that I've gone through today. Otherwise, I don't know whether I was saying this, wasn't I? I'm going to try and make a playlist on computer using my old iTunes songs, and I'm going to try and load it onto my iPod, and I'll have a drive-in playlist for long journeys specifically. So I could just put it on shuffle. Problem is, like, when I put it on shuffle, I can either, it's really annoying, I either set it up playing an album, so I can go into it and say, like, click this album, press play, and then plug it in, and then it will let me play that album. But otherwise, it will try and default to just playing everything. And while I don't mind playing everything, the problem is that I've got something like 60 songs that sound like this. Because it's the fucking Portal soundtrack, or this, and that's not really driving music, you know? That was annoying, that. I stopped the music before I stopped you. I was supposed to stop you first. It caught me off guard. And then also I've got countless, let me sort in album. It's easier to sort it in album. Spot it straight away in album. I've literally countless things like this. And this. Oh, yeah. What's that? Oh, yeah, on a G string, everyone knows that one. And this. And this. And that. Which I really like. I like all those for certain scenarios. It's not really good when it comes up when I'm driving along, you know, and it starts playing a really quiet orchestral song after just playing a belting tune. So I'm gonna try and sort out a playlist instead. But yeah, I like my classical music. It's back from my days when I used to do music. It's the Music Soon, mate, on YouTube. And yeah, so we'll be doing that and doing some programming. Having fun, having a whale of a time. Of course, we now get to go through the joys of figuring out how the fuck to make a playlist in iTunes. Because iTunes is shit. Let me just reiterate, shit. It's really bad. Really, really, really bad. Why can't I just drag and drop this to a load of playlists? Oh, I can. I can do that, actually. Look, if I grab one, this window pops up that doesn't otherwise pop up. You would never know that's there unless you just tried for some random reason to drag and drop that. Oh, Apple is so shit at things like this. God damn it, anyway. It's clean. No, it's not clean. It's unusable. I'm actually going to defend it now after slating it. The reason that I find it so atrocious that playlists aren't more easily accessible is because I'm used to Spotify for several years. I've had Spotify for 5+ years now. And Spotify is based around the idea of playlists, so it seems weird to me that iTunes isn't, but I can understand that different products, different people want different things, so for some reason I hate the idea of having a huge list of just songs or separating it down to albums. It doesn't make sense to me anymore. Playlists. Oi, yeah, boys. I'm heading to bed, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for me to go to bed, and I am... Well, no, I'm not. That's a lie. I'm not going to bed. I am putting you on the internet. That's what I'm doing. I'll rend you out, get you uploaded, and store that, and all that kind of good stuff. And, oh, gosh. Oh, my leg. My leg. Been doing some development work. My tests there going all green. Happy days. I actually had an interesting dilemma. One, I was figuring out how to stub out a setter, which was a git. I'm trying to set this field, and I'm probably going to do it from the constructor. Actually, I might force it to go through the constructor, because without that field, like, the entire thing won't work. Like, there's going to be a lot of dependencies on that field existing, so I might just enforce it through the constructor, and I'm probably going to do that now before I jog on. The dilemma I had was, here's the dilemma. I couldn't decide whether this thing, I've got several different things that are, I've got something called a iHandler. And it's not actually called a handler, is it? What function is it called? It's an iSource handler, and that is, the idea of that is it'll be able to wrap around like sources of code. So the first one is literally just like one that will read from the file. Eventually there'll be one that can talk to Git servers and all that kind of crap. So I'm just doing one that can talk to like the directory and whatever, and making it all nice and pretty and clever. I didn't know whether that handler should have access to like the path that it's pointing to and all that kind of stuff, or whether I've got the windows wide open because there's no wind. It's so warm, it's unreal. I'm gonna have a fan on tonight. I didn't know whether there should be a field on the handler to say what path it's pointing to, or whether to save that in an object. So I just save like one field on there that's an object, and the object will have like the path, it'll have the like everything else it needs, like the new path and the new source and all this kind of crap. And all of that will be automatically handled by this singular object. And then the idea is that, the handler can then use like the thing that talks to the handler, talks to the interface for the handler, will then talk to the handler, figure out what the code is. The handler can then talk to this solitary object, but that object can be shared across all of the separate handlers, so all of the handlers can use it. That's the plan, so that each handler doesn't have to store its own information. Just one object is in charge of it. I thought that was a better idea, and I didn't know what to call that object, because I've never done that before. I don't think is store something like that. It's kind of a library or a dictionary or something. I don't know. I didn't know what to call it, because I know the only time that I've worked with objects like that at work is with a DTO, which is a data transfer object, which is an object that's designed to wrap a lot of data so that you can transfer it in one big object. This is kind of being transferred around, but a data transfer object infers that it's being transferred outside of the project that it's in. So what's the opposite of a data transfer object? A data object that you don't transfer. And I don't know. I think I just said dot data. Did I say data in the end? What did I call it? Common. I called it. So common to the entire project, there is an idea of a code source, and the code source is like it has an interface and whatever. And then that's the plan there, I think. This project has an idea of there's basically the outside world has an idea of what the project is. Like there's one entry point to the project. That then has an idea of what a handler is, and the handlers have an idea of what a code source is, but then there are several. Does it actually make sense to have that? I think it does, and then you can have a hierarchy of like there'll be a base class. It wouldn't necessarily be an interface, it'd be a base class. And then you can have a base class code source, and then the rest, for like the TFS one, might be a little bit more clever, or the GitHub one might be a little bit more clever than just the file directory one. Yeah. But that is going to be where, like, there's going to be quite a lot of information I need to store in it, so it didn't make sense to just have a shit ton of fields on one object. But anyway, I didn't know what to call that. So programmers out there, that guy's name that begins with a P, what would you call an object that you don't need to transfer? It's not a DTO, it's a core object, a data field. Is it just a data? What namespace would you put it in? Because I've got namespace codeaccess.builders.common.dtos.enumerations.handlers.helpers .interfaces. What folder would it go into? Or would it not go into any? No, it would go into some, because it would go into a code source folder, wouldn't it? And it would be just the base. Yeah, it would be that. Okay, figured it out. I'm going to put it into a source folder. And then there'll be a base source, file, directory source, and all that kind of shit. Cool. I'm going to get back onto developing that then. I'm going to say goodbye to you though, and I'm going to render you and get you uploaded. I've got my playlist sort of for tomorrow. Just got my iPod ready to rock and roll. It's pretty good. I've got some banging ass tunes in there. And yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, ladies and gentlemen. I will catch you later.